And
Hey,
we're back.
we're on.
We're on. So let me just say this. Number one, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to the dopest, brand newest podcast out in the land.
Did you say dopest?
Dopest. Hailing out of Charlotte, North Carolina. My name is what is my name?
What is your name?
Jamal.
And I am Shawna.
And this is the Zero F's to Give podcast. I'd like to welcome everyone back who listened to our first episode. Episode 2, I have to stop popping. You hear me popping in the microphone? I have to stop doing that. That's ridiculous.
Stop popping then.
Okay, no problem. Anyway.
Episode 2.
I feel like there's a lot that's been going on since 2 weeks ago, and I did tell y'all that I was not going to podcast.
It was so cool though. People missed us. People were like, "I'm ready now."
What do you mean people missed us?
That was what the feedback was on Facebook and Instagram.
Well, let's talk about the feedback. What feedback did you get?
Because you can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
Where at on Facebook?
Facebook, we are at Zero F's to Give, the podcast, right?
Yeah, Zero F's to Give podcast page.
Zero, Z-E-R-O, the number 2.
And F's is E-F-F-S. Instagram, where can you find us?
Zero F's to Give, the number 2.
Oh, it's real easy. And then if you want to tweet at us.
You can tweet at us?
You can tweet at us. It's at the little at Sigley 2 underscore E-F-F-S. All right, so that's...
Find us and they can give us feedback.
Yeah, so there's no excuses really, to be honest with you.
And just say hi. We like that. We like to hear from you.
Yeah, and just so you know, if you say anything negative to me, guess what, buddy? Guess what I'm gonna do?
Zero F's to give?
Zero F's to give, deleting that ass.
Are you gonna delete? You're not gonna just... You can't take constructive criticism?
Absolutely. There's a difference between constructive criticism and you just being nasty and mean. I don't do nasty. I don't do mean. So if that's what you dare to be, like a troll, a bot, or whatever the hell.
You have a thing against trolls.
I do. Oh my God. Woo!
We got some really good positive feedback.
Like what? Talk to me.
Well, I'm gonna just shout out this one name.
This one name. One name.
And that is PJ.
Okay, PJ.
PJ called and screamed and loved every bit of the podcast.
Did she know?
She loved it. PJ loves me, so she was like, "I'm gonna love you," and Shawna's on, and I can listen to Shawna talk all day.
So wait. Is PJ being biased? That's what I need to know.
Well, she might have been. She might have been a little biased, but she still really loved it. And she said after listening to the Genesis episode, she loved you too.
Look at that. New beginnings.
She said, I already love Shawna, but now I love Jamal too.
Wow, you didn't feel some sort of way about losing some of your love?
It was so genuine and authentic. Like, I think that I wish I could have recorded her feedback because PJ's so sweet and she's so country. So it would have been great to have a sound clip of her feedback.
You know what? Being in the technical South here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and listening to people talk a lot, like, man, that country come out, boy.
So geography isn't my big thing. You know, we learned that last time we played a game. But everybody says North Carolina is the South, but I kind of feel like it's the East.
It's the what?
It's on the East Coast.
Shawna.
Like, we can touch the water.
Shawna. People in Georgia can touch the water, and they're still in the South. People in Florida, guess what?
But Florida is like on the bottom.
It does, but it still touches the water.
Like, I think if we draw cross in the middle of the country,
and guess
North
what?
Carolina doesn't really.
It is below. It's actually below. It's actually. I don't want to do this to you, man. I really don't. But I feel like every time we talk about geography, like you're always off. Like,
I don't know that I am.
Shawna.
I mean, that's what people say. I ask people, do you consider yourself living in the East or the South?
And every last one of them says the South.
They say the South, but they're not as offended as the people who are from the East are. Like North Carolina is not the East Coast.
Like Virginia has a much better claim of being in the East than. So I'm just going to show this to you.
And they call it the South. They call Virginia the South.
You see that little map right there, right?
I see the map.
All right. And then what does it say? Come on, Virginia has a much better claim of being East than North Carolina.
You don't have to pull the map out on me.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, we're good here?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't usually give in to you that easily, but I'm going to.
All right. Any other feedback that you wanted to prop up?
Yeah, actually there was one that I found hysterical and great.
Okay.
I don't know if I found it accurate though.
Oh, okay. Where is it at?
So
was this Facebook feedback?
I don't remember which way I got this feedback, but I remember the feedback.
Okay.
Because it was great.
All right, spit it.
So it was said that we were a good combination together, but it is like listening to Mary Poppins, that's me, Mary Poppins, and Dr. Dre.
How do they end up in the same room? How are they in the same place? Like, did Mary accidentally float with the umbrella to the wrong spot? Like, how?
Mary Poppins and Dr. Dre. So that means that I am a spoonful of sugar. And what are you?
How do you know she wasn't talking about me being Mary Poppins?
Because she told me.
I don't necessarily want to be Dr. Dre. Like, in the last couple of years, it's had a negative connotation.
In the last couple of years?
I mean, like, really, like, it's exploded ever since the movie.
It's been seen.
Right. Let's see.
Really old.
I feel like I'm more like a.
If you're Jay-Z, I can be Beyonce.
Oh, you're not Beyonce. and I feel offended that you called me Jay-Z. Like Jay-Z, like I would take Jay-Z's money all day, but come on, man.
Who doesn't want to be Queen Bee?
You know what? You're right, babe. You are Queen Bee. You're Queen ass. Okay. There you go. We're good.
Because I'm definitely not gonna throw that claim out that I'm Beyonce.
All right, so
I'll just stay in my lane as a beehive.
Let me just say this: we encourage seriously all feedback. Send it to us. We want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to discuss what we discussed. So have at it. Let's move into the show.
All right, let's do it.
Shall we? So you've heard about the term being ghosted before?
I think the kids told me what ghosted is.
I mean, like specifically, like if somebody said that they were ghosted, what would you think? Like, what does that mean to you?
What comes to mind is like you're seeing somebody. Was it a kid or was it a friend? Like you're dating somebody and they just up and just disappear. Like they stop returning phone calls, no text messages. You had a date planned and it just does not go down.
Like just gone, right? Like,
right.
Okay. So, I feel like we as a family, as a household, have been ghosted, and I'm offended.
You think we've been ghosted?
I do. And I know I haven't talked to you about this at all, but I didn't talk to you. I didn't talk to you about it because you know how you get that secondary shame, that secondhand shame. It has nothing to do with you, but you still shame. I feel that. I feel secondary shame for being ghosted.
Who ghosted you? Us.
Our lawnmower dude.
Oh.
Like, I didn't realize. So when we moved out here, I didn't realize how important it was for us to have lawn care or to be on top of that or to
I feel like singing a sad song.
or having real world lawn products because the little lawnmower that we have just ain't working. No, it's just not working. And so, we put cutting the lawn off for almost a month now.
Not intentionally.
What do you mean?
Well, we tried to get the guy to cut our grass a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, because I've intentionally not cut that grass.
Well, you didn't cut it yourself, but we tried to have, when we were having our guest over for the holiday.
Right.
We tried to have the grass cut so it wouldn't scare anybody.
So, literally, I call Buddy up, talk to him. I'm like, yo, man, hey, I'm ready. to come back to you because I had my son doing it. You know, I figured it would be a good growth opportunity for him. And so I had my son doing it. I was paying him to do it and everything like that. But he's so busy now. I feel kind of guilty.
Do you know what he said?
Mm-mm.
I know we have a rule not to talk about him.
No, that's your rule. That's not my rule.
But he said he was glad he was fired from the job of cutting the grass.
That son of a... What do you mean he was glad?
He didn't like it.
Who likes cutting grass?
I think there's people who like cutting grass.
Okay, well, count me out. Like New Edition, all right? I don't like that at all.
And I think he even said to me, maybe, possibly, don't hold him accountable, but I think he kind of even said to me, well, if you wouldn't have fired me, the grass wouldn't look like this right now.
Y'all, I'm trying to be better at not cussing, but he almost had me call him an MF right there. You see how I just said I MF instead of...
I'm proud of you.
Woo.
I'm proud of you.
Woo. Anyway, back to being ghosted as a family. So, the past couple of days, we've been trying to figure out, like, who can we find to cut our grass? We can't get nobody to cut our grass. Who don't want to make this money?
It's so bad.
It's so bad. You know, I work in people's houses on a regular basis, and when I come up to houses that look like our grass looks, I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be bad. I'm totally biased by it.
Right.
Totally
Makes
biased.
sense.
And so I don't know what to do, man. Like, we're in a bad place when it comes to grass. So, Zero F to Gibbs family, anybody have any lawnmower dudes that's willing to come North Charlotte?
Because you know what? I was looking at it as it brushed up against my knee. And I was like, man, Jamal just has to do it. He has to do it. But I don't know that our lawnmower has the power.
I can't do it.
Like, I think we need one of those kind that people ride on, even though our yard isn't that big. We need the power.
I can't do it. I can't.
It touched my knee.
You know what it was? All right, all right, here it is. This is what happened. Back when I was a young weenie little tot, all of age 12 and stuff, right? My dad, my stepfather, who was my dad.
That's not that young, but go ahead.
My stepfather, who was my dad, he decided that he was going to pay me for watering the lawn, right? That was going to be how I was going to get my allowance. So he would basically have me water the lawn for an hour. Thinking about saying that right now is so wasting in California time, right? But whatever. So he was going to pay me $4.25, which was minimum wage when we were young, the collective of us were young, right? So he's going to give me this $4.25, and I was supposed to do it every day. And I hated it.
Watering the grass.
Oh my God.
What else did you have to do besides water the grass?
Just water the grass.
Did you wear earphones?
No.
And play music?
I was 12, we were poor at the time.
You was making $4.25 an hour to water the grass. That's not even a job.
Ma'am?
Watering grass? It wasn't like you were washing cars or anything.
It was the most boring thing I've ever done in my life.
I'll do it for $4.25 right now.
So you know what your problem is? You must be thinking I'm saying $425. No, $4.25.
I wouldn't water grass for $4.25.
It was horrible.
We have sprinklers for that.
Now, and so what ended up happening was I internally I feel like I have some bias towards anything lawn care. Like when people have roses, people are like, oh, the roses are beautiful. All I see is hate and deceit and like treachery in those roses.
Baby.
What?
I'm so glad you had that full circle moment.
Okay.
Where you can go back to your childhood and realize that's a trigger for you.
Yes.
Because your mommy shared several triggers with me over the course of our marriage.
When she was alive, may she rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Jahari C.
Because she told me that she thinks the reason that your side of the room, when they used to visit us from out of town and we would let them come in our room to sleep, that your side of the room was messy because she made you clean up all the time. She said that she didn't understand why you didn't clean up the way she taught you to clean up.
I feel like that is the most ridiculous thing anyone has ever associated to me.
Do you not clean up because your mom made you clean up?
First of all, I do clean up. I just clean up in spurts, okay? So here's the thing. Like, you clean up daily. I clean up in spurts. So, like, I'll go, like, a couple days. And then I'll see something, I'll be like, it's probably time I should clean it up. And then I'll just start cleaning. But then when I clean a lot of stuff.
Didn't you tell me?
First of all, hold on, babe. I feel like we really need to discuss the power and the presence of the children in our household. Okay, I feel like we do, because here's the deal. Somebody got to clean in this house.
Yes, it's a collective effort.
I don't think so. See, so here's the deal, right? You work, I work. Okay.
The oldest two kids work too.
Yeah, that's one of them. Don't even look. She's just.
Yeah, but she does. The only one who doesn't work, and the most problematic one,
is the baby.
Because she's a baby.
And she's not a baby, and that's the problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. She's the single messiest.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
It's ridiculous, and then gets mad, tries to do everything in her power to get away from the cleaning.
Do you know who she reminds me of?
If you say me, you might as well just get out this studio.
Do you know who she reminds me of?
Who?
Her daddy.
Just go.
She looks like you.
Just leave.
She acts like you.
No, she doesn't.
She even told me, it's the reason why you love me so much, Mom. You love my dad and you love me.
She's a charmer like me.
Oh my gosh. She always has something to say like you.
Always has. Oh my. Ooh.
Always.
That child right there is going to be the bane of my existence. I promise you.
Probably true. But don't speak that into it.
I'm not. That ain't no speaking to existence if you live in it. Goodness gracious.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about the kids. This is our free.
No. We talk. Okay, there's a difference between not wanting to talk about them and us not supposed to be talking about them.
Right. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about that.
Fair enough. Let's move on to marriage stuff, shall we?
Sure.
Okay.
You have some marriage stuff?
I do, but you know what? I first want you, because, we were also told last time that somehow you weren't talking. And I was like, she talks all the time. What are you talking about? So.
Did you say I talk all the time, or I was talking
you talk
on the last podcast?
You talk a lot. But here we go, baby. Listen, here you go. I want you, free bird, fly.
Free bird, fly.
It is you know what? I'm going to call this segment The Corner of Shawna's Mind.
Oh, I don't have anything going right now. But.
Go ahead.
You did remind me that you need to clean up. You did remind me of that, but I don't want to do house stuff right now. Can I ask you a question? And this might be for all. Let me know, ladies, if this is a you thing or if this is just what goes on in our household. So Jamal does not clean up a lot. And it's cool. I don't mind, usually. But you know what? He is so specific about the car being cleaned. He washes the car like 3 times a week. What is up with that? You won't make the bed, but you wash the car 3 times a week? If I leave a pencil in the car, he is going ballistic. What is that about?
Do you want me to?
It's ridiculous.
Do you want me to answer, or do you just want to freestyle? Because it's on you. It's not about me saying what I need to say. I want you. This is your time to shazine.
Just keep talking. I wish you would have told me that before we started. I would have had a whole list of things to talk about.
But this is not the rage or nag in the corner of Shawna's mind. I know.
It's a sensitive word.
Is it?
It is. Oh, I do have something to talk about. I do.
All right.
It has to do with marriage and Shawna's corner.
All right,
I have an irritation.
All right, Shawna's corner.
Okay, check this out. Last week I was looking at somebody's Facebook post. I do remember, but I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
And I realized that on his Facebook post, it was all about him and what he was doing in the community. And he does do stuff in the community.
Okay.
And when I looked at his wife's Facebook post, it was all about him. She's happy to be married. She's in marriage groups, and it's all about being a wife. And then I realized that they were not even Facebook friends. No, I take that back. They were Facebook friends, but they were not married on Facebook. So under relationship, it didn't show that they were married. So I got curious and I started going through different married people's Facebook profiles.
Okay.
And I noticed that the wives are always like, yay, I'm a wife, go team wife. I even have a couple of wife t-shirts. I ain't never seen you walking around in a t-shirt that says, I'm a great husband, or I'm so happy to be a husband, or rocking the husband look today. I've never seen that on dudes. Or even them like saying, like when you look at people's Instagram bios, you see stuff like wife, mom, entrepreneur. You see stuff like happily married, and then whatever else they do, like wife is always the first thing they talk about. But I haven't noticed that very much with dudes. Your first thing on Instagram does not say husband, does it?
So I'm showing you my Twitter page right now. I'm showing you my Twitter page.
Okay, let's see.
At Jabone, by the way, is my personal Twitter. Okay.
Okay.
What do you see?
Christian.
What's the next one?
Husband.
Next one.
Father.
Next.
Podcaster.
Next.
Entrepreneur.
Okay. So
this is not your issue?
That's not my issue. That just means you're not paying no damn attention to me.
I know. When I scrolled, I did not scroll through yours. Do you have a t-shirt that says you're happy to be a husband?
I don't. I do not. And that doesn't mean that I'm not happy to be a husband, right? It just, I think that, what? Are you done? Can I interject?
I would love to hear from you.
Okay. So, I feel like part of what's going on is, for years, right, there's been this picture of what a man is supposed to do and be, and there's this picture of who women are supposed to be, right? And I feel like part of what you saw there is how patriarchy plays itself out in real life. In real life, you know, we say, you know, when we introduce this is my husband, this is my wife, right? But a lot of times, the majority of marriages, a woman takes the man's name, and you know, I'm not saying obviously, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it or whatever, because you know, choose to do whatever you want to do within inside of your marriage, right? But like when you look at it, men are pushed higher all the time. I'll give you a perfect example. There's some ladies that we know, and they're really pro-black and really like about their black men and the kings and blah blah blah, right? And I get that, right? But what I don't hear or see from them is them pushing black women as hard as they push the black man. And it's always, it throws me off. I'm like trying to figure out like I understand those are your sisters and you have a different type of connection to them, but why is it that we're more apt to push black men? And I'm just speaking of the women, right?
Then say what you mean when you say push, because I can see two different ways that can go.
Okay, so I don't believe that. I absolutely believe that we need to encourage each other as a race, right? Okay, we absolutely need to encourage each other as a race. Black men, black women, we need to prop each other. We need to give each other push, like push forward. When I say props, push them forward. Okay,
do better, be better,
all that.
More,
But just even in the acknowledgement of the struggle. Right, in the acknowledgement of who we are and what we are doing and stuff like that. So, in that sense, perfect, right? Like you want to hear it, but what I feel like women in general don't get enough credit.
You do say that all the time.
I tell you that all the time, right? Women don't get enough credit. Black women really don't get the credit. Let's go into certain specific things. The Black Lives Matter movement. Okay. Black Lives Matter movement was started by 3, and I'm not sure if they were all LGBTQ, but 3 women, some who were LGBTQ, Q. I don't want to mess that up. Okay, but a lot of people don't know that, right? But they're the ones that started the movement. They're the ones that pushed that movement. They're the ones that got on stage at the Netroots Live where Bernie Sanders was up there and was basically like, hey, you need to push this agenda because you're not going to leave us behind. Like, the women did that.
Right.
In the civil rights movement, black women literally were the backbone of that entire movement, right? Literally did the majority of the organizing, put things together, the door-to-door work, when the whole bus boycott, they set that up. Who do we talk about all the time? Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was like the face, right? Like, black women do great things, and they're usually the core of what's behind big movements.
Right.
But a lot of times we talk about the men.
All the time we talk about the men.
Right. And so
downplay what the women do.
And downplay what the women do. And so I just don't understand. When you get back to women saying, I'm a wife, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a that. Women have this gene. I don't get it. They have this thing that they just want to push. It doesn't matter how bad their man is treating them. They want to push. It doesn't matter how they feel internally. They want to push. They want to push. They want to push. And first of all, props to y'all. Like, this is the reason, one of the main reasons why I love y'all. It's just because y'all push, y'all push, y'all push. You're always looking to do for others first.
Right.
And it just seems to me that in me trying to discover myself as a different human being, number one, but just be a better man, like represent men better, that we kind of have to change the focus here. Everybody deserves their shine, and there's plenty of room for that shine to be given. So we just have to do it. Like, just show and prop what women are doing. That being said, it is going to be extremely hard for me to be like, this is my wife, I'm the husband, blah blah blah, just because I think it's corny.
You don't want a t-shirt.
I just think
you
it's
don't even
corny.
like to dress like.
I know, because I think it's corny, babe. It's absolutely corny. It's just.
Is it corny?
It's corny as hell.
Okay.
And I don't. Like, I try not to do corny. Like, I don't feel it in my soul.
Do you think it's okay for a guy to not acknowledge and show his relationship on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, listen, I absolutely believe that men should prop their women up, right?
Wait. Men should do what?
Prop their women up.
And women in general, or
I'm talking about
and his
wife,
okay.
girlfriend.
It kind of sounded like polygamy there, like their women.
Oh,
I wasn't make sure I was following them right.
Mamas, sisters. I
was like, wait a minute.
How we get here? How do we get here?
I was triggered. I was like, wait a minute. I don't understand.
It's so ridiculous sometimes. So, yeah, I believe that should happen.
And I do believe that women are the backbone, and the backbone is the most important bone. I think it's huge. But I do think that it depends on the circle you run in, and that's one of the reasons I asked you what you meant by push, because I was just following a conversation online, and the men were using the term push, but they were talking in a negative. Women push men away. Women push men down. Women degrade men and do all these things, and so I think it is really important to say.
What the hell were you reading?
Oh, I'll show you. It's so bad. But, and I know, like, I get it. I get that these guys have been hurt, but it was so bad.
Right. So, I feel like we don't have enough time to really, to talk about.
Maybe next week.
Man, because I could do a whole big old thing on us dudes, and us not dealing with our feelings properly.
Yeah, it shows up so bad.
Oh my God, dude, like somebody matter of fact, if y'all listening to this right now and you with your dude or you the homies is listening to it together, you know what I'm saying? Or you just happen to be at work or whatever and you're listening to this podcast. And you know that dude, that guy. All right? Just go get that man a hug, man. Just go give him a hug.
How open are guys to that?
Oh my God, so resistant. Because even when we go in for a hug, it's like the bro hug.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, man. Go in, 2 arms out, hug your brothers, man. Hug them, man. Like seriously, hug your brothers. The whole thing about not smiling in pictures. And I told you I'm off that.
Did you tell them that?
Who?
Or did you just tell me that?
I told you. I told you.
So they don't know what you mean by
smiling.
Okay.
So, I can't remember. I listen to, like, I have a bunch of podcasts that I listen to, but my main one that I listen to is The Black Guy Who Tips. I love that. I love that podcast. All right.
Yes, you do.
I love Rod and Karen. They're the best. Anyway, so Rod was sitting there and he was talking about brothers like with this faux angry, FAUX, angry, right? And basically what he was saying is like he ain't angry, so why act that way? And it dawned on me, like immediately dawned on me. You are right.
You felt angry, Jamal?
Faux angry for what?
Felt angry for what?
Did we just get something? All right. So anyway, but yeah, so because I'm no longer gonna act faux angry. I'm just not. I'm not gonna do it. I am happy. I'm extremely happy.
Be happy about it.
Just life, man. Everything has been going good. The only thing I can't stand right now is my finances.
We'll have to have a specialist come on and talk about that.
We do, because this is just somebody, please. Just
what was one of your tags in your Twitter post? Entrepreneur. That's sometimes that goes along with it. You have your ups and downs. That's part of it.
I get it, and I feel like it's a down right now. But I'm not gonna be faux angry about it. I'm not, because I'm for what, right? Because I'm extremely happy. I am extremely happy. I'm in a great place right now. My life, my marriage is in a great place. Job is in a great place. So I just absolutely refused from like that point on to not smile on pictures because it's faux angry.
For what?
So yeah, I've moved on from that.
I wonder how I'm gonna do that
for a long time. And I like everything we go do now. You gonna be like, faux this, faux that. And I'm just like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? All right. So I wanted to share with you. When I say you, I mean our audience. I wanted to share with our audience something that I saw the other day, and it made me so angry. It made me so
like
angry.
Not angry? Real angry.
Why? Why are you doing this? All right. So this is I was on the Twitters, which is my favorite place to be.
Your social media.
My social media of choice, and when I was on there, I follow a lot of women, and this one, yeah, I got it, but I just your fault anger, I ain't gonna deal with it anyway. So I follow a lot of women, just because you guys are smarter than us, right? And this one of the people that I follow, she retweeted a thread, and it was basically about how toxic masculinity cost this guy a good woman. And so I'm gonna just read it to you guys because so much is in this thing, and I couldn't believe it. Anyway, here we go. So, and I'm speaking for her now. So last week, out of the blue, the man who asked me to marry him remarked as follows: "Sometimes I wish you were just a teacher or a nurse because you wouldn't think so much. It's intimidating."
Mm, mm.
Okay, I want to say that this is the man who asked her to marry him. Okay, back to the thread. And trust me when I say I am horrified to actually put out into the universe the fact that those words were even uttered. I've just been over here bebopping along, thinking all is great and loving life. Then that bombshell is dropped, and I'm left questioning everything, including the fact that I just moved in with this man a month earlier. Along with the teacher nurse comment, he proclaims that he's depressed because he feels like less of a man around me. Again, I am fucking dumbfounded and blindsided by this confession. My heart wasn't broken, it was shredded. But I knew what I needed to do. He went out of town, and in 36 hours, I was packed and completely moved out. Thank God I was able to move back into my house. Otherwise, I would have all just been too much. It would have all just been too much. It's still pretty fucking crushing. I'm sad and grieving the loss of what I thought we had, thought being the operative word, but I also feel surprisingly relieved. It makes no logical sense to me. He makes more money, has considerable more assets, and is well respected and accomplished in his field. I have my faults. I spend too much on handbags and shoes and can't even point out to you on a map where Idaho is, but you're intimidated? And let me make one thing absolutely crystal clear. I am humiliated to admit all of this. I'd much rather pretend it never happened and just quietly move along, but it happened. And to a certain extent, it's still happening because your heart takes a minute to heal. I have no desire to say horrible things about him because that's only an indictment of myself. I was with him. I just didn't pick up on any of this. It never even occurred to me that being moderately informed was intimidating. So, that's where I am at this moment, and I truly wasn't even going to say a damn word about it. Coming home to an empty house is awful, and nights are always the worst, but Netflix, wine, online shopping, and losing the 15 pounds I gained will get me through. I won't lie. For about 24 hours, I debated staying. It just seemed easier. Maybe this is as good as it gets. Maybe my expectations are too high. Maybe I stay and lean on my friends and colleagues to fill in where he lacks. I hate admitting these thoughts, but it's true. But the only thing worse than being lonely is being lonely in a relationship. As much as it hurt to leave, staying would be so much more painful. I want it all, and I think I can have it all. Maybe not all at the same time, but I'm okay with that. I'll enjoy each and every little bit and look forward to what's yet to come. That's heavy as hell, ain't it?
It is. It's heavy to me personally.
Talk to me.
I felt that. I felt every word she wrote, and I'm so proud of her. Like, so proud that she saw that in that moment and was like, I can't take this. I gotta go. Even though I'm gonna have to heal. And she acknowledges that that's gonna be a process and that's gonna hurt. But I remember being that chick, and I did not leave. Like, I remember we've been together for a long time, but you weren't the first and only. But in a previous relationship, like, I remember having a conversation with the guy I was dating, and I don't remember specifically what he said, but it was so dumb. It was so dumb. And I remember thinking, you've got to be freaking kidding me. And I remember being in that moment like, do I challenge what he's saying? Because it's so bad. And he was around family and friends, and they were pumping him up, and I was like, but nah, like, y'all ain't right. and I didn't say anything.
At all?
I didn't say
now, what is that? What is that? What is it that, because I know you're not the only woman that does this, okay? So what is that is inside of women where they know that what they're experiencing is dumbness. But they don't say anything. They don't do anything about it. Like, what is that?
At that time, I think I wanted to protect the relationship so bad. Like, I wanted it so bad that I was like, well, just don't say anything. And I did get filled by going to other sources. So I remember I was really immature, but I remember going to my friends and thinking like, this dude is so stupid. And we would talk about how stupid it was, and they would validate my intelligence, and they would validate my thoughts on the scenario. And I was filled with the intellectual conversation, but I was still dating him, right? So I'm still exposed, and I still never called him out on his stuff. But that was a long time ago, so I'm not going to just blame it on immaturity, because I did that with us too. I did that in our marriage as well. And it's so liberating to see you where you are now, and to see the difference in the way that I can maneuver and operate in the world. Because I don't want to say give permission, because I use that loosely, like not like you're telling me it's okay to be you, but just in being who you are, it's like, well, what do you think? What are your thoughts? And I can tell that, you give me freedom to consider all of it, even if I'm wrong, like pulling out the map. But it's not like to put me down, but it's like, okay, well, let's look at this together and consider what I say. And I can see how I can grow from that, and I can see how you can grow from that. But for a long time, you would say stuff, and I would just be like, that's dumb, and just shut it down, right? And I don't think that I was just shutting it down even then to protect our relationship, because I felt that was protected. But it was just like, you talk louder, right? You talk louder, you talk bigger, you talk bolder, and I was just like, I'm not doing this.
Basically, you're not trying to have a screaming match.
And I can go, right, because I could be right all day long, but you're going to sit there and fight it and argue with me, and I would just say, forget it. And then I would go and have my intellect or my emotions or whatever it was validated someplace else. And I think that in a healthy relationship, it's okay to challenge each other, and you should want each other to be better, right? Like, I would hate for you to have to go out and talk to somebody and be wrong or sound ignorant about something when we could have handled that in our house, because we are pushing each other to be better.
And could have been corrected.
Right.
And so, like, when I read, obviously I'm reading it, and then I'm like feeling it from the opposite lane, right? Like, dude, you had a woman who was about you, who had basically moved in with you, who was ready to do everything with you, and you're intimidated because she's smart?
But look at this, because even with that, like, I think that a mindset and programming is huge, because even as you say that, we were born in the late 70s, raised in the 80s.
Right.
And so we came up at a really good time, but we still carry those mindsets, or we're trained a certain way by our families, right?
Okay.
And I remember when, like, we got together, we were poor and broke for sure. So I remember I got my first full-time job, and I made more money than you, right? And I was just like, dang, I make more money than you. Like, and you didn't really have a problem with that, because your mama made really, really good money all your life, right? She always made more money than your dad.
Who cares?
But I think that my mom made more money than my dad too.
Probably.
I'm thinking she probably did, but I didn't know it.
Right.
And so I thought, like, well, the man is supposed to make more money. The man is supposed to be the
You thought that?
I absolutely did.
Okay.
And now looking back, I can see where I self-sabotaged that. Like, I remember when we were making the same amount of money, and I was just like, oh, well, we're good, so I'm going to work part-time, because I don't need that much money. And now I'm looking at it like, nah, be a boss. Let us both ball out.
Come
like,
on,
we can ball
now.
out together.
Yes,
but I can see where the self-sabotage came in, where it was like, well, let him go ahead and make the money. Let him be the provider. Whereas now I'm like, nah, we can boss up together. But it was a very clearly, I won't say it was a clearly defined moment where I can say, well, on January 2nd this happened. But I remember that season. I remember when it was like, I could work part-time, or I can keep working.
So, but it wasn't. So the reason why you're saying that you would have done that is because you were okay with not not hurting my ego. Is that what it was?
I don't know that it was necessarily your ego, or just what I thought that's the way that marriage is supposed to be set up.
And so that's the thing. Like, there's so many layers to this story.
Don't you wish you would have known that then? So you could have been like, go make that coin.
but hold on. But here's the thing, though. I felt, and tell me if I'm wrong, right? I feel like I've always told you to go get it, whatever it is, right? Like, go get it and be the best at it and excel. Like, I've never tried to put you down or be like, don't go get this job because then what is it going to mean about me? Like, that's ridiculous to me, right? And also, let me just say this: I had a shining example in my household of mother making a whole bunch of money, my dad making not as much money, but I never felt like he was less than.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I never felt like he was ever, I don't, and not the quote unquote head of household.
Right.
And here's the thing too is with that being said, they very well could have had those arguments. I don't know, right? What I do know is what the reality was for me. And it wasn't that. It wasn't anything negative in the household. So, and most importantly, your money that you make, the money that I make, is going to the same thing.
Right.
So regardless of if that's your money and you pay this and that and the other bill, and this is my money and I pay this and the other bill, it's still community money.
Right.
It's so, like, for you to have to separate the monies because I'm scared or whatever, it's still going to the same community, so who cares?
Right. But I think like if you think about the mindset of it, and again, you never were like, oh, well, you never said dumb down. You never said don't make that money. You never said don't be great. You were actually always on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it wasn't just me and you in the world.
Right.
Because if I even think now in 2018 about conversations that I have with my friends who are in their 40s, you know, they're like, oh, well, I make X amount of money. He needs to make X plus. Or I have this kind of career, so he needs to have this kind of career. Like, I'm not doing blue collar, I need white collar. I need college graduate. I'm not doing somebody who hasn't graduated from college, even if they're making great money. So the mindset is humongous.
On the
in society, but I talk to a lot of women, so that's what I hear from some single friends.
Got you. Well, I will say that just on the male side of things, there's two things. One, what in you wants to have dumb and unintelligent conversation? That's because in my opinion, what he was basically saying is you're supposed to be a trophy or a doll, and then I just come to you for sex, and that's it. Oh, and you can make me some food too, right? But if you're gonna live with somebody, if you want to marry somebody, which means that you should be having conversations with this person, what makes you want to marry someone who's stupid?
I think it has to do with, that could be part of it, but I think it's even as far as just feeling challenged to do more. Like, I think we challenge each other, right? You know, and I get filled out of that. That's a good thing. But I think that it's intimidating to people sometimes to be challenged. So let's say that even if she was a nurse, since you want to dumb down a nurse, and she's talking about what she does at work, that's a hard job.
That's a hard ass job.
Being a teacher is a hard job.
Oh my goodness.
But maybe he thinks that he couldn't stand up to the conversation. Let's say she's a financial advisor. I don't know what she does. So she's talking about stocks and bonds, and you know, he just can't hold. So now he feels insecure and insufficient, and so he can't stand up to the conversation. So that's a him thing.
So I get that.
And I don't think that's what he means.
I get that.
He just wants a trophy wife or sex, but it just means he can't
stand
up to.
I got you. So you're saying that his intelligent level can't match hers. Or he can't hang in the conversation. So what he needs her to do is dumb down to his level.
Right.
Got you. And so at that point, I still say, let me make it better for you. If he were in the company of some astronauts who are smart people, and they were having a conversation, I guarantee you he wouldn't feel the same way.
I bet you he would feel the same way, but he wouldn't be bold enough to say it.
No, I think that he wouldn't feel the same way. I think that he would be happy to be in the company of intelligence.
I don't think so. I think he would feel the same way. He
Really?
just wouldn't say it. And so, like you mentioned, toxic masculinity.
Right.
Like, there's that know-it-all syndrome. So that's when people get intimidated about others' intelligence. They start acting like, well, I know everything. So instead of having a conversation about whatever the astronauts are talking about, he's going to talk about what he's good at, or just not say anything at all. But he wouldn't be bold enough to say that to a group of men that he know are more intelligent than him.
We have so many different friends that we know that hit all the different masks of toxic masculinity.
Absolutely.
But that know-it-all one, woo!
But do you know there's a quote, and I don't want to get it wrong, but about like if you look around your circle of people, right? If there's 5 people in the room and you're the smartest one, then you need to get into a new group.
Absolutely.
Because you don't always want to be at the bottom. I give her props for leaving, because even though it hurts right now, she's gonna be way better off.
Oh, yeah.
Because if she would have stayed, they would have been stuck.
Yeah.
She would have got married, and in
She would
3
have been
years, she would
angry.
be like,
Mhm.
"What did I get myself into?"
Right.
He would have been okay in whatever house they bought, and they would have never got a bigger house. She would have been okay at mediocre, because that's all he wanted was mediocre. He didn't want anything more.
It's crazy, man. So if nothing else, if you gain anything else from this particular podcast right here, just don't cheat yourself. You deserve more. You deserve better, right? I mean, and it's out there, but you can't settle for a pedestrian.
What does that mean?
Now
I gotta say that,
what?
because
What for
like I thought you
pedestrian?
were gonna say don't settle for mediocre, but now I feel like I want to challenge that and say, what do you mean by don't settle for pedestrian?
Okay, meant the same thing as mediocre.
Can you educate me then?
It meant,
I thought it meant somebody crossing the street.
no, you didn't, baby.
Yes,
No, you didn't. Mm-hmm.
You acting so confused and
Oh
what?
my God! Here we go with the phones. Here we go with the phone. Until next week. This is Zero F's to Give podcast. Go check us out on all of our social media. And we'll talk to you guys later.